slow. Draw the car off the road. I gotta give you time to grow, yeah. Not a ghost, you're in my head. I didn't wanna leave you low. Draw the car off the road. I hope you get some time to grow, yeah. Not a ghost, you're in my head. I will always love you. I'll love you forever. Even when we're not together, I will always love you. I'll love you forever. Said I'll love you forever. I know in the future we won't see each other. Cold just like December, but I will always love you. I'll love you forever. Yeah, I'll love you forever. You take your time, I'll take mine. We'll be fine. No one be here, you. When the roof caved in and the water fell through. Hope when we're old, we'll be friends. Reminisce. Hope we'll be there too. All the memories, all the photos we took, yeah. Now we gotta let this go. Draw the car off the road. I gotta give you time to grow, yeah. Not a ghost, you're in my head. I didn't wanna leave you low. Draw the car off the road. I hope you get some time to grow, yeah. Not a ghost, you're in my head. I will always love you. I love you forever. Even when we're not together, I will always love you. I love you forever. Said I love you forever. I know in the future we won't see each other. Cold just like December, but I will always love you. I love you forever. Yeah, I love you forever. I will always love you. I love you forever. Even when we're not together, I will always love you. I love you forever. Said I love you forever. I know in the future we won't see each other. Cold just like December, but I will always love you. I love you forever. Yeah, I love you forever. I love you forever.
Welcome back to the 22S studio. This is Beyond the Game. And we're here. I'm not alone. It's me, Matty Ice, and I have in the building Enrique.
How we doing, Matt?
We're doing good, man. Doing good. We just finished Dunk Discussions. The next show on the sports block is Beyond the Game, of course. That's why we're here. And to start off the show, just to give y'all a quick, check in on the Lakers. Down 97-83 to the Orlando Magic. A lot of defense has not been played by the Lakers, and a lot of good individual performances by LeBron and Luka, but the team in itself has been struggling the past two games since they've been back. A lot of defensive mistakes and things like that. Any comments?
Well, basketball, it's not a one-man show. Like we've seen it time and time again where players can be at their very best, but if the rest of the team doesn't do anything, it's not going to go well.
Yeah. Magic just hit the 100-point mark. Moving on from that, to continue on some basketball, I guess. My March Madness bracket is at 70%. I'm sitting third in our 22 West fantasy bracket of the men's bracket. What I really messed up on, I had North Carolina go beating Auburn. I don't know why I did that.
Man,
I think.
North Carolina was
wait.
bad, man.
Yeah, I had a North Carolina, out of the first round, and they lost to Ole Miss. But still 70%. The right side of my bracket is looking pretty good. I picked Duke to win all the way to the Final Four, and that's looking so. I picked Arizona. No, not to the Final Four, but the Sweet 16. I think I do got Duke going to the Final Four though. Arizona all the way to the Sweet 16, and I picked BYU to go and Alabama to go, and that's all been right on the right side of the bracket. I haven't missed one since. But what really messed me up was the North Carolina pick, and I also picked Marquette to beat New Mexico. That didn't hold true. Then
New Mexico beat Arquette?
New Mexico beat Marquette.
Yeah, D Wade's school.
Yeah. So that's looking good for me. You told me this earlier, but who is your pick for to win a national championship?
Florida.
Yeah. That's also my pick for the national championship. They've been the best team out through the collegiate ranks all season. But I think a couple teams have had had or are gonna have chances for it. Teams like Auburn. I don't know. Auburn's been there for years now, but I feel like they always fall short. I think I still have Auburn going to my Final Four. Let me see.
The other thing with Auburn, though, like I mentioned last week, was that these last few weeks they did not look as dominant like we've seen like in the entire season. Like we've seen it against Alabama and Tennessee. They did not look like themselves, and it's not looking pretty well with Auburn. And if I'm being honest, I kind of expect the same result to happen as we go to the next couple rounds in March Madness. Which round, I have no idea, but I can expect a collapse from Auburn, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, they had a pretty good game against Sherrington the other day. And yeah, they were dominant for a big part of this season, but more recently they definitely been slowing down or showing weaknesses, which is like especially like that loss against Alabama was like really telling. Game against Sherrington was pretty close throughout the whole game. They were able to pull it out, of course, but I feel like Auburn's a team where like they're really good, but they don't have the number, or they haven't had enough to really take them far or to win the championship at least. Arizona's another team. It's a good team, but I don't think they have enough to beat Duke. BYU's been a real surprise this year.
Who do you think UF will, like, if we were to say that UF will go to the national championship game, who do you think they'll face? Duke and Florida are not in the same.
Yeah.
Right now, because if Duke's not the same, then I would say it'd be UF and Duke in the national championship game.
Yeah, where's Florida right now? I think Florida will face. Yeah, they're on the other side of Duke.
Yeah, I got Florida and Duke in the national championship game.
I had picked Tennessee on the other side, so
To meet
I'm gonna stick with my pick.
to meet UF in the national title game?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tennessee versus Florida is who I had in the final two.
SEC championship rematch.
That being said, done with collegiate sports. We had another early Monday Night Raw today.
We did, yes. In Scotland, may I say.
Scotland. That's the hometown of Drew McIntyre, correct?
Yep.
So, something, 2 times or second time in 2 weeks, we get to see Mr. You Can't See Me Man.
And don't call him that. He'll get real mad at you.
Aw. Still the GOAT. Don't worry.
He'll get upset because he doesn't think that the invisible joke, his language, is funny anymore.
I still laugh at it, John. Be mad at me all you want, but I'm still gonna laugh. So, John Cena came out, had some quotes and had some things to say. You said you heard the promo.
I did, yes.
What did he say exactly, and how did you feel about what he said?
So basically, what he's saying is that he's gonna basically try and be a 17-time champion, and when he does that, he's going to ruin wrestling. And in terms of when and only, and well, I'm not gonna say when, if he wins the championship from Cody, he's gonna retire from the spot with the championship and take it home with him, so that the WWE will lose relevance to the WWE championship and everything that represents it, and which would be a slap in the face to every single wrestler who's held that prestigious title. And he basically said that he will be, he declared himself as the last real champion in WWE. And you know how WWE goes. If you want to be that, you got to go through Cody. You got to go through the champion. And like the Nature Boy himself once said, to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
He also brought Ric Flair in the promo, of course.
Yeah.
And for John Cena to come out and be like, "I'm gonna take it home with you," that sounds nice. It sounds amazing. I feel like that'd be it'll work well because he's like part time.
Yeah.
So if he wins, you probably wouldn't see him on every weekly show like you see Cody. So it would work. Like if he won and then you didn't see him for 2 weeks, it would like make sense, I guess. But
and when does it mean he's gonna retire with the title? Like,
right.
Like we already saw Cena scheduled for other shows after
like
WrestleMania.
How do we play? How are we playing that?
Yeah.
That's the real question. Honestly, I think it's gonna be real fun to see where they take it. I don't know when he's gonna win it. Before this heel turn, I said John Cena was gonna lose all the way through WrestleMania to maybe he wins it, at SummerSlam and then holds it for a little bit there. But I don't know how you would justify him losing at WrestleMania and keeping his momentum going, because I think he's creating a lot of momentum. And him coming out and saying, "Oh, I'm about to ruin WWE," I kind of like that, especially because it's playing off of his promo from last week in terms of like the fans not caring about him, and he could justify that because he's been carrying the company for like 10, 15 years, so he could be like, "Oh, this company ruined me, this and that and the other," or I feel like this company, I guess, backstabbed me, I guess, or you guys backstabbed me. Whatever the case may be, but I definitely like where this angle is going, I guess.
Yeah, but like I said before, now again, better late than never. But at the same time, I said last week that the promo that he made, last week,
right,
was like over a decade too late to make.
I also saw what you posted on Twitter too. You said the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, when I said that all of you are wrong. Yes. Yeah, but yeah, a lot of people were saying that, man, this is really heavy. It is heavy, but at the same time, it wasn't really that great of a promo because of how late the promo was. It's not to say that he did bad, because his heel promo, he looked really emotional. I'll give him that. But at the same time, you could have created like more words on why you're doing this in 2025 instead of 2011 or 2012. So I'm looking forward to see where this story takes us, but you can expect crazy things to happen. Like we've heard before in WWE, expect the unexpected.
Right. Where do you well, we all know why like he didn't turn, right? In 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
Like he didn't turn because marketing and Vince didn't want to turn him heel because he was scared to lose his top guy as
Yeah.
the good guy. But how would you, if you're John Cena, how would you explain that in words in the promo?
On why he didn't do it in
Yeah,
2011?
back then, and why do it now?
Well, I would look at it like this. A lot of people in the 2011, 2012 time during WWE, they were not on Cena's side. They were on either CM Punk's or The Rock's side.
Right.
No one was paying attention to, to John Cena. They were focusing on CM Punk being the champion, and they were looking forward to that once in a lifetime match.
Right.
Like no one was talking about John Cena at the time, so it made a lot of sense for John Cena to turn heel to force everyone to talk about Cena and not talk about those two fellas that I mentioned, and but like I said before, now would WWE lose money by this heel turn? Possibly, but at the same time, story wise, this would make a lot of sense and could possibly get more viewers to watch a match like Money in the Bank 2011 or WrestleMania 28, like it would make sense. Good guy versus bad guy instead of good guy versus good guy. And so, yeah, it was a miss by the WWE. And we'll see how this goes at WrestleMania this year. But, yeah, but like I said, better late than ever, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's real. I think, what they're doing is really good. Yeah, it could have been sooner. But I just feel like, it's outside factors in terms of, people higher up not wanting to pull the trigger because, you have John Cena that was willing to do it, turn heel back then. So, I'm just excited. I'm always excited to see what John Cena is going to say from here on out because this is literally we're in new waters in terms of his character. We haven't seen a change of character this drastic from John Cena since maybe he went from the word life personality to hustle, loyalty, respect.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm excited to see where they go from there. But what did Cody Rhodes say when he came out?
That he pretty much said something like he underestimated this new John Cena that he's seen. Pretty much described him as the most dangerous John Cena anyone has ever seen. And John Cena, he's gonna do everything he can to win the big one. And so pretty much Cody said was he was wrong for underestimating him, and he's gonna focus on possibly the most difficult task of his career and beat this version of John Cena. Bigger than Roman Reigns? Maybe. Don't hate me, Roman fans. But in all seriousness, though, this new version of John Cena is going to get a lot more viewers than it already has. And let's talk about WWE for a second. It's been on fire these last couple years. Like a lot of people are not giving them the credit that they deserve. And now for them to make this move, this has something that makes people want to tune in every week. And that's what people, including myself, love about this industry, is that there's always something new. There's always something to love. There's always something to hate as well. And this has become one of them. Like seeing someone that you love against someone that you despise. And this is what we're getting out of this match. Especially for those young kids that really looked into John Cena for only a few years, only to get backstabbed like that. Especially that one kid last week. Like,
right. John Cena also brought him up again.
Yeah.
And John Cena was like, and WWE posted it. Like,
you
what do
people
want me to
loved
do?
it.
Right. We all laughed at it. We all joked about it. So, you also brought up the fact that John Cena didn't speak again after Cody Rhodes came out and responded. Do you think that is a deliberate thing in terms of, I guess the story, like John Cena not speaking and then Cody Rhodes have his moment, or are they, doing that on purpose?
I feel like they're saving it for once they get closer to WrestleMania, if I'm being honest. Now, 2 weeks, I could wait, but the next time John Cena shows up, I better see something from Cena once he confronts Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, it's also like it's also the situation where it's a situation where like John Cena's going out there, he's not really talking about Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
He's talking about the fans and WWE in general and winning the championship, but he's not directing it towards Cody,
Yeah.
right? So, and Cody, every time he's coming out, he's directing everything towards John Cena. So, I'm just waiting to see when John Cena is going to stop not just talking about WWE and stop talking about the fans in the universe, but direct his comments towards talking to Cody and how he feels about Cody, I guess. That's why I'm more interested. I just noticed that like John Cena isn't focusing his promos on or his talk on Cody Rhodes.
Now, here's my suggestion to the WWE. There will be one of those few weeks where John Cena doesn't show up to Raw or SmackDown before WrestleMania. But what if during those weeks The Rock shows up and confronts Cody and talk about Cena? Because these last 2 weeks, John Cena's basically said nothing to Cody Rhodes. It's like he's afraid to speak.
Yeah.
And so,
He also didn't. He also hasn't brought up The Rock since.
yeah.
Since the Elimination Chamber. So, I wonder if they're gonna touch on that, or was it just a product of the environment of, like, oh, I'm about to turn, not because I want to join The Rock, but I want to turn just because I need to turn and have this different edge to my character. So I'm very interested to see how that story unfolds.
Yeah. But yeah, man, there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of results that may happen, and you can't, like, there's no perfect prediction on what happens because because like I said, expect the unexpected. Like no one in a million years expected John Cena to turn heel before the moment happened. And we said the same thing last year about The Rock. Like, no one expected that.
Right.
So, yeah. These things, they're big time, man.
So, that being said, we finally got Randy Orton to come back, and we finally have Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Yeah. How do we feel, and how do we see it going down?
Violence. Pretty much finish off what KO is doing at the Elimination Chamber with Sami Zayn. And I will say this, I can expect Sami Zayn to make an appearance during that match and see what is going on. Now, what will happen with that match, I'm not really sure. We've seen times where friends reunite worst ways possible. Like you turn your back on the guy that completely beat you out to a bloody pulp. But in this sense, I kind of expect Sami to make an appearance during the match, if I'm being honest, and distract Kevin Owens. And what will really set the match on fire is if Randy actually pulls the trigger with that punt kick.
I definitely think he is. They teased it a couple times, and I definitely think we're gonna see it. I feel like we have to see
it. Yeah, we have not seen it since the pandemic era,
right?
Since
the Edge, right?
Yeah. In terms of in front of fans, the last time we saw it, at least when I saw it, was when Randy faced the Big Show at Extreme Rules 2013. That was the very last time we saw it in front of fans.
Yeah, it's interesting because Randy Orton recently, especially in his promos, he's been talking about he keeps hearing voices.
Yeah.
And it feels like he's getting back to that Viper and that bald-headed Randy Orton. It feels like he's stepping back into that type of role, and people have been loving that ever since since he's been saying that. Randy Orton, like him hearing voices and him getting into that mindset of the Viper, I guess. That's a dangerous man. That's a different type of beast.
Yeah, WWE, they've been I'll say this, they created like this card really really well as of these last couple weeks, and I expect more big time matches to show up in the future, but it's looking really good right now.
Right. I don't know if we talked about this, but you saw the Roman, CM Punk, and
The feud at
Seth.
SmackDown, yeah.
How what was your thoughts on that?
We're gonna see another one of those violent matches. Probably the most violent match of WrestleMania, if I'm being honest. Like, we know how Seth and Punk feel about each other personally. Like, they're gonna give everything they got, and you add Roman into the mix, and he doesn't like Punk either. This is gonna be some and we've seen them trying to build up this rivalry ever since the Royal Rumble, especially with Seth Rollins double stomping Roman's head, and man, like that image will probably won't get out of my head in a couple months, because man, that was really uncomfortable to say the least. And this says a lot for me being one of the biggest Roman haters on this show. I'm sorry, Alex, but and I'll explain why in a little bit, but yeah, this match, the build up is something else, and that's what's lacking a lot of big time matches, if I'm being honest. Like the Jey Uso Gunther match, for example. Like, they've been hitting each other, but they lacked something that makes people wanna watch the match.
Right.
So that's what they're missing. But back to the Punk, Seth, and Roman match. Man, when Seth and Roman talked about how those two got into the business and pretty much got WWE to where they was, man, that was such a low blow to CM Punk, because they must have forgotten what Punk did before he left. The
Right.
pipe bomb, the 434 reign. That match with the Undertaker, really underrated, by the way. To those listen, I highly recommend you to watch that match. But yeah, they must have forgot how much Punk meant to the WWE.
Yeah, and
before he left.
also apparently CM Punk was he was, I guess, the mastermind behind the Shield.
Yeah.
I guess that was his idea,
Well,
according to Punk, I guess.
I wouldn't say it was Rollins' idea. I would say it's like more of Dean Ambrose's idea, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like he was more of the leader of that group more than Rollins, especially in their first, couple years together.
Right. And it is crazy because their story does date back to, CM Punk's last run in WWE. Because the Shield used to attack CM Punk a lot in his final run there. So, and of course, their off-camera heat also boils over. Roman Reigns also has said some things off screen, not putting CM Punk in a light where it was unfavorable, I guess. So, like, there's, like, real heat, not just in their characters, but maybe even in real life, that make this matchup main event worthy.
Yeah.
I think this will be the main event.
For night one, I kind of think so too.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be main event because, like, everybody's interested in the match, and then obviously all three guys are already solidified main event talents.
Yeah.
So
CM Punk finally gets his wish.
yeah, and that's literally all CM Punk wanted was the main event, WrestleMania.
Yeah, he didn't care about winning another title. He just wants to be that guy.
Right.
For a night.
And he's been that guy for a long time. Like, even if he's not in the room, you hear his name getting chanted throughout buildings. So that's gonna be real. It's gonna be real fun to see. So much fun to watch. But one thing that CM Punk also brought up in his encounter with those two before they got into a big fight was he brought back up the favor.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And he's
man.
like, all right, Paul, thank you for putting him Roman on a silver platter, but I still remember I got that favor, and then Roman Reigns looks at Paul, and then they start getting to the fight after that. So, WWE and CM Punk, they all are making you remember that, hey, the favor's still out there, and it's gonna come in a way where we might not expect it to come in. I think that's another surprise that I'm looking forward to WrestleMania is this favor, I guess.
Yeah, these last couple of weeks, a lot of fans were speculating that the favor that he was owed is a championship match, which I don't think that will be the case, if I'm being honest. When I looked at that promo and the way Paul Heyman said now when he wants that promo, I kind of looked at like, does he want Paul Heyman to turn on Roman? I feel like that's gonna be the case.
I feel that way too. Especially a couple weeks ago when Seth Rollins, CM Punk, they had that cage match. Roman Reigns came out, but when Roman was attacking Seth, Paul Heyman went into that ring to see if CM Punk was okay. So it felt like that from that moment that Paul Heyman allegiance might be in question because he loves Roman, but he also loves CM Punk, and that's been explained multiple times. So I definitely think we could see a Paul Heyman. I don't know. You could say a heel turn. I don't know how the crowd will handle it. I guess it depends on the crowd.
Maybe a CM Punk heel turn.
Right. It might be a heel turn. It might be but Paul Heyman turn on Roman Reigns situation for CM Punk. That might be the favor in general. Like Paul Heyman or CM Punk might want Paul Heyman by his side instead of being by Roman Reigns' side.
That would put a huge smile on my face if that happens.
You know what I'm saying? CM Punk's he created the term the Paul Heyman guy, and he said he was the one of the first. Well, not one of the first, but.
Well, it's not because of how I feel about Punk. It's not because of how I feel about Punk. It's how I feel about Roman.
Why do you not like Roman Reigns? Can you explain that?
All right. So, for those listening, prepare yourselves. So, I attended WrestleMania 39 2 years ago, and I expected to have one of the best nights of my life.
You didn't have a best night of your life?
I expected it, and I think it's because I had big expectations for the night. But now for those that don't get it twisted, because I only attended night 2. I did not attend night 1, and night 1. For sure, it would be an amazing night to never forget. But night 2, man, it completely went under my expectations, especially the main event. And I went into that night hoping that Cody Rhodes wins the championship. And when Solo does the Samoan spike, when Roman hit the spear, and the ref counted 1, 2, 3.
Hard dropped.
My hatred, because I for Roman Reigns, got it to a whole new level. And if I'm being honest, I didn't know what to feel about the Tribal Chief character at first when he introduced it in 2020. But when it started becoming annoying, like around 2022, if I'm being honest. At least in my opinion. Like, other people can have their opinion on Roman, but I didn't care much about Roman during his Tribal Chief era. Like, there were times where I could root for him. There were times where I would root against him. But now, after Mania 39, screw that man.
So you think? Do you not like the way that he won it?
I guess you could say that, but also, man, people could say that, well, Cody already won at WrestleMania 40. Was I in attendance to see that? No, I wasn't.
He said, I paid tickets to see Cody win. Okay.
Yes. Now, if I saw it at Mania 40, then I would have a different opinion on Roman, possibly. I will put that out there. But since I didn't, I root against him every chance I get because of his selfishness. And for those that, I'll put this out there too. Reports say that the original plan was for Cody to win at Mania 39. And Roman and Paul Heyman pushed to change plans. Screw those guys, man. Those guys completely ruined my time at WrestleMania 39. And let me put this out there. That is the reason why that was the last WWE show I attended, and that is the whole reason why I became All Elite in the first place.
I'm not mad. I'm not like I was expecting Cody to win in WrestleMania 39, but when it happened, I was disappointed, but I wasn't necessarily mad that he lost because my perspective was like, okay, if he lost, you just build him back up and have him come back next year. And I was more disappointed by when he won the Royal Rumble and they were about to give it to The Rock. I was like, all right, bro, nah. I was like, hold on, and you ain't gonna screw Cody out like that. But I definitely feel you. I feel like the disappointment level was there, and I remember when that happened, a lot of people had that same reaction that you had in terms of, man, why did Cody lose? Why did Roman win? Like, and everyone was complaining about how Roman, especially the way Roman kept winning during that time, was like Solo coming in, interfering, especially a couple months before with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre had a good chance to win at Clash at the Castle, but Solo came in the same way he came in against Cody.
Yeah.
Someone spiked him and lost. So I definitely feel that anger and that pain, I guess.
But at least those guys that you mentioned didn't pay tickets to go to the event. And let me say this. Ever since at WrestleMania 39, I attended 2 AEW events. And in those 2 events, separately, all the excitement that I expected from WrestleMania 39, I got from those 2 events. So the more AEW events I attended, the more I laugh, the more I get pissed at WWE for that night alone.
For that night alone.
Man.
Did you watch the Jon Moxley? Who did he face?
Against Copeland again?
Yeah, it was like that bloody match.
Yeah, it was. Especially that one spot where they had that.
Yeah, it was like the
spikes all over his
spikes
back. Yeah, honestly, I kind of expected Moxley to win because I don't think that they're gonna give a 50-year-old a world title run. And who do I think Moxley will lose it to? Either Darby Allin, because the storyline is there between Moxley and Darby, or Will Ospreay, one of those two. Like, it's his time to shine. Or Swerve. Swerve has a chance, to tell you the truth. And by the way, Moxley and Swerve will fight one-on-one for the championship at Dynasty on April 9th, I believe. That's on a Sunday, I believe. But yeah, AEW Dynasty, check that out.
Okay. Do you enjoy watching AEW more than WWE?
Well, I did talk about this in the past. I like both promotions. I like both promotions for different reasons. Let me explain why. For WWE, they know how to make amazing storylines. Like, the way they introduce it, the way that they show it, it all makes sense. Mm-hmm. And it gives you a reaction on what's going on. With AEW, the storylines are not as great as WWE, but they know how to make. They know how to give everyone a show in their pay-per-views. And I did tweet that right after I attended Revolution in LA. They know how to put on a show for fans.
I respect it. I respect it. And one last thing, not to get your blood pressure going about Roman Reigns again.
Hey, that's the only rant I'll give about Roman. I promise you.
Do you feel like the tribal chief character? Do you think that is like? Do you think that's still one of the greatest stories in WWE, or do you think it's overrated?
No, I would say it's one of the best. Biases aside, I feel like despite people like myself wanting Roman to lose, there are spots where that you would get a big time reaction, and that's what I've experienced during the 4 year reign of the Tribal Chief era, especially during the times with him treating the Usos badly and go with the honorary Uso in Sami Zayn. All those times, there were really amazing moments outside of matches too, and I'll never forget those moments where the crowd will just explode no matter what happens. From Sami Zayn attacking Roman with a chair, the Usos super kicking Roman on SmackDown. There were really amazing moments. So I honestly cannot hate on this Roman Reigns era. Like despite me not forgiving, I'll put it that way, not forgiving Roman for that night alone, I cannot discredit the how amazing that storyline was these last 4 years.
For sure, that's dope. That being said, from the WWE talk, a lot is said, a lot of emotions, this and that and the other. To give you a quick update, Orlando Magic beat the Lakers 118 to 106. Wagner had 32, 5 and 8. Luka had 32, 7
Friends,
and 7.
Wagner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
now LeBron about to join his time at Disney World for a night.
Yeah, Lakers dropped their third game in a row. Lucky these last 3 games were against East teams.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, it's still going to hurt us in the standings if other teams start winning and we keep losing. But at least our conference record is not taking a hit.
Oh, no, definitely not.
I'm just saying in terms of, like, when we get the tiebreakers and things of that nature. But we can't keep losing multiple games in a row, especially in this last stretch, if we want to get a high seed. Because if we lose 4 or 5 games in a row, that's going to really hurt us in the seedings.
Now, at this point in the standings, it was nice to see the Lakers at the 2 seed, but now I kind of expect the Lakers to stay at the 4 seed for the playoffs. Now, it'll be disappointing to not get a higher seed, but you got to find your ways to, like, win games no matter what your seed is.
Right.
We've seen teams with lower seeds go to the finals before.
Yeah, the Mavericks last year.
The lowest seed to make, like, Miami, he was the 8th seed a few years ago. They made the finals. The lowest seed to ever win the finals was the Rockets, I believe, in 95. They were the 6th seed.
Okay.
And so, yeah, anything can happen in the NBA.
Yeah. I was watching the game during dunk discussions, and it was just a lot of open shots that Lakers were not guarding, and rebounding is an issue, especially because our center depth isn't that huge, and a lot of teams could exploit that. So,
yeah, our length is definitely going to be a problem, especially with us trading away AD at the deadline. Now, I'm not expecting the Lakers to win the championship this year, to tell you the truth, mainly because of us lacking some center depth. I expect the Lakers to try and go after a center, not named Mark Williams, whether it be in free agency or the draft, there are a lot of prospects that are over 7 feet that I would, take in the second round. I think they have the 53rd pick, and there are prospects that could go around there that I would gratefully take and give a chance. Honestly, when you have Luke on your team, any center would work good with on that squad. So, look forward to see how that goes.
Yeah, a center around Luca is more, it's more easier if it is like young and athletic, somebody who could be a lob threat like Jackson Hayes is right now. But also you would like a bruiser type of center, somebody who be able to get dirty and get those rebounds and give you extra possessions and things of that nature. Hope we could find that in the summer. But I think the Lakers, will be fine in general. I'm not expecting them to get to the finals either or win a championship this year either. But I would expect them to win in the first round, and depending on who they face in the second round, maybe end it in the second round or maybe even push for a Western Conference appearance. But also we have to take into account that, I don't know, you have LeBron coming back against the Bulls, so you still have it's still a new team trying to figure out how to play together, or like they're two stars trying to figure out how to play together and try to adjust. Because right before the injury, it was Luka coming back from an injury himself, and then he has to play himself back into a healthy condition. And then LeBron goes, and the Lakers in that stretch still playing well for the most part. LeBron goes down over these past 2 weeks, and Rui also. And then, Luka and Austin Reeves are playing together. So now you have all three guys playing together. Whole team, for the most part, fully healthy outside of Maxi Kleber. And you just hope that they're able to, find a way to, play together and succeed in a sense.
It looked good before LeBron and Rudy went down. I feel like it's all a matter of readjusting the way that they've been playing these last few weeks, and the way that I know Luka and LeBron on how they're able to work together, I expect them to figure something out, ready in time for the playoffs.
Yeah, I hope so, because I'm just tired of seeing them lose multiple games in a row. That's my biggest issue. I just when you get to the 3-4 game losing streak, I'm like, all right, man, where's the adjustments at? Where's the team that we've seen over the past 30 games of good basketball? It's just rough to see. But then again, all teams go through it. Cleveland Cavaliers are going through it right now, and they're still the 1 seed. So,
like Shannon Sharp said, even the best chef can burn things out. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Shannon. Yeah. That being said, we also had Anthony Davis come back from injury today. Let me see. Last time we checked, the Mavericks were winning, I think. Let's see. What's today? Today is... It's the 24th. Okay, the Mavericks ended up taking the win, 120-101. One closer. They're one spot out of the 10th seed, which is the last playing spot. And Phoenix Suns are the 10th seed at the moment, as they play the Bucks today. So it, for the most part, Dallas does have a chance to move up to the 10th seed, maybe today or in the next couple days.
When the Suns miss out on the playoffs, I'll be on this booth laughing at the Suns. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Anthony Davis came back in his first game, played 27 minutes. He had 12, 6, and 3. so not the biggest like stat game, but it was good to see him out there. Of course, the highest score was Najee Marshall. I think he came off the bench. Max Christie had 10. Brandon Williams had 15. In a win against the Brooklyn Nets.
How much does AD have?
He had 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Once again, I had high expectations for someone. I said 20 points in the first half.
So, it's a first game back from an injury. So it's to be expected. Hopefully he could get back into things. The Dallas Mavericks, we didn't really say this in dunk discussions, but Dallas Mavericks really needed him because Dallas Mavericks have been in a position where they were almost threatening to
forfeit games.
Yeah. And they really needed bodies to actually be on that court. So maybe did they rush Anthony Davis back for that purpose?
Nah, I wouldn't say that because AD had all the time in the world to try and recover, and he had 3 weeks to recover. Now reports were saying that he was expected to miss the rest of the season, mainly just to be ready, get 100% for next season, along with Kyrie and potentially or possibly get a high draft pick to pair up with Kyrie and AD. But I feel like I wouldn't say that they were rushing AD in terms of his injury, because I feel like Nico Harrison, who took over Jerry Jones as the worst GM in Dallas, is trying to prove everybody wrong, which I don't think he will, and trying to get Dallas into that playoff spot like he's been promising. And he says defense wins championships. Maybe he could prove that with AD. Trying to get to the 10th seed, find their way to the playoffs, and get things going. So, man.
Yeah, maybe. That being said, you mentioned Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving went down from an ACL injury. But also, the other day he was on stream, on Twitch, I think, and he was streaming, and he was talking basketball, and he brought up ring culture and how people talk about players that have rings or who doesn't have rings, and their legitimacy if they have championship wins or not. So I would propose a question to you. Do you think winning a championship or not having a championship deters you from being viewed as one of the greatest players that played the game? Or do you think the way that we talk about players that have rings or don't have rings are justified in the media space, I guess?
Now, I know what you're saying, and I feel like it all depends on how much you contributed to those championships. Because if you're just looking at how many rings each player has just straight up, then that would be like saying that Thanasis Antetokounmpo is as good as Giannis.
It's like saying Robert
or Horry's better than Michael Jordan.
Right.
So yeah, like I said, it's all about how much they've done to get to that position on winning a championship. So I get what Kyrie was saying, because I actually saw that stream, and he does have a point on how fans would overreact to players depending on how many rings they have. And so I would say he has a valid point, but at the same time, it's all about how much they contributed to those rings.
Yeah, we also see it on TNT. Every time Shaq and Charles gets into an argument, the first thing Shaq brings up to Charles is, "Oh, I got 4 rings. How many you got?"
A fat donut, but no cake.
Which is like wow. Like every time he says that, it's like, all right, now it feels like Charles can't say anything because he has 4 rings and I don't. But Charles is a great player in himself,
Man,
right?
Man won MVP in '93.
Right, MVP. He's an All 75 player, Hall of Famer in his own right, and like he isn't, like he's one of the greatest power forwards who ever played the game. So, yeah, I feel like ring talk could get over.
And that's another thing too, because if only rings matter, then where's Carmelo Anthony go in the mix? Where does Allen Iverson go in the mix? Or I'm sorry for bringing his name up, Karl Malone or John Stockton.
Right.
Four of the greatest players of all time. So what, they're just gonna be forgotten because they have no rings?
Right.
It's the same thing right here.
Right. So, yeah, I feel like ring talk could get like dragged out a lot, and a lot of players get overlooked because they don't have ring. I feel like another player that also gets overlooked is like a player like Chris Paul.
Exactly.
I feel like Chris Paul is, in the GOAT conversation in terms of point guards.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of the greatest point guards to ever touch a basketball, and he gets overlooked because his lack of championship or his lack of appearances in those big moments in the playoffs. So, I feel like that type of talk could get skewed, and I feel like it could deter from real conversation about basketball and how people play it. One quote I did see from Gilbert Arenas, it was like years ago, where he thought that your championship shouldn't be included in your like Hall of Fame. I guess your Hall of Fame resume.
Yeah.
I guess because he said that it felt like winning a championship is a team
effort. Exactly.
Yeah, and Hall of Fame is individual. So, I mean that's one way to look at it. So
our talk on how people look at the amount of rings fans have brings us back to your thoughts on Eli Manning, him winning 2 Super Bowls.
yeah.
And because of how complete a team those 2 teams are the reason why you don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same situation right here.
I feel like I just think he I don't think he necessarily got carried during those championships. He did have 2 of the biggest moments in both of those championships
Yeah.
to propel them to win the championship. I just throughout his whole career I think that he was a middle of the pack quarterback.
He just that people just can't rely on just those 2 moments.
Yeah. I feel like it was just 2 moments out of his 10-plus year career
Yeah.
that people continue to bring up in terms of his Hall of Fame resume, which is like when you look at his brother Peyton Manning, I think you have his whole career to look up on, not his 2 times winning a championship, to be like, oh, yeah, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. You look at Tom Brady, yes, he's won 7 championships, but he's also had moments outside of those championships where you could look at and be like, dang, that's a Hall of Fame type season.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, same goes for them, I feel like. So,
Dan Marino.
yeah, Dan Marino, he only went to Super Bowl once. He hasn't won one at all, but I would consider him a top 5 quarterback
Yeah.
all time. So, that being said, we'll wrap up, Beyond the Game. Next we'll be going for 2, a football show, from the 22 West studio. Thank you, Enrique, for joining me today and filling in for Alex. And we will see you guys we'll be off next Monday. So, see you guys in about 2 weeks. We'll have
This
an episode
is
Friday
22 West
of
Radio,
Beyond the Game.
streaming at 88.1 FM
and then
HD3,
we'll see you guys
KKJZ, Long
not
Beach,
this Monday, but the
Los
following Monday.
Angeles, and 22westmedia.com.
See you guys later.
Peace out.
This is 22 West Radio, streaming at 88.1 FM HD3, KKJZ, Long Beach, Los Angeles, and 22westmedia.com.